guys? My name's Isaiah Hill, and this is a very special video. It's dedicated to a very special person. It's to my friend Anna. I won't drop her surname because I feel like she would not like it very much. But anyway, she'll watch the video, so she'll know. That movie is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Continuing on with like Halloween type things. This is a film I watch like every Halloween. Because it's not a horror movie. But it deals with B movie type horror, and I really do like it. And horror's in the title, so I'm going to treat it like Little Shop of Horrors. By the way, spoilers. Rocky Horror Picture Show was originally a play written by Richard O'Brien, who also wrote the lyrics, the music. He did practically everything except I believe except the direction, and it was a hit. It did it with the Broadway. Rocky Horror Picture Show later went on to become a movie, which is what we have right here. Now, there's two versions of this film. You got the American version, you got the US version, you got the UK version. The UK version includes one song, and that's Superheroes. So, at times I like extended, sometimes I don't. Little Shop of Horrors kind of proved that. Thing is, with this, with Rocky Horror Picture Show, it follows basically a newly engaged couple, which is kind of strange because they propose at a wedding that's turning into a funeral. And it follows them as they meet a mad scientist named Dr. Frankenfurter, played marvelously by Tim Curry. I'm going to speak a lot about him. And with all these strange party guests, it's all strange, and they see that he just has discovered life itself. Rocky Horror Picture Show, in my opinion, is an amazing movie. It's a musical. The songs are catchy. Scenes are memorable. You can easily quote this film if you've seen it. There are some references that have gotten into pop culture that some people quote all the time. When the film came out for the first time in theaters in I believe 1975, somewhere near there. Is that right? That doesn't say. But anyway. When it came out, it had day shootings, and the film bombed. So, but they moved it over to midnight screenings, and the film was was a success. It was big. It was huge, and it's almost like films like The Room, where you dress up and you bring props. But Rocky Horror did it perfectly, because how Rocky Horror feels, it feels it's just a film that you can really enjoy, and it's a cult classic. It is being played, it's loved by many. It stars Barry Bostwick and Susan Sarandon, who are the only Americans in this movie. Tim Curry, who I mentioned, plays terrific, marvelous Dr. Frankenfurter, and many other people reprising their roles from the play, Little Neil, Richard O'Brien, who also, I mentioned, wrote the entire thing. Patricia Quinn, who plays Magenta, all these names. But one is really Peter Hemwood, I think that's how you say his name. He was a model, and that's how he got the role. And then after that, he never appeared in any other movie, which is kind of interesting considering. But Rocky Horror, a lot of people have doubts about it. Some people think that it's too confusing. Some people think it's too corny. But I enjoy this film. I really do like it. The story of it I find really interesting. There are times where the movie is funny. There are some times where the film is weird. There are times when the film is even a little bit disturbing. But overall, I like the film for what it is. This film, and Tim Curry even says, it's a great way for teenagers to open up. And he has even stated that after Rocky Horror, he allowed himself to grow pudgy, and so he can be drastically different from Rocky Horror, so no one can just associate him with Frankenfurter. Richard O'Brien mentions Flash Gordon in the song Science Fiction Double Feature. Said Science Feature, my bad. But now that's an interesting thing. The opening, the iconic lips these opens it, but these aren't the same lips that you see in the movie. No, this is a model some sort, but Patricia Quinn sing science fiction double feature. I'm gonna try and put like the soundtrack down below in the link, because I really do enjoy the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack so much I have it on vinyl. Now, I don't have it with me right now because it's at my house, like in it's at my parents' house. So one day I'll bring it up here and maybe I'll show you guys. But anyway, it opens up with Patricia Quinn lip syncing the lyrics to the song with Richard O'Brien singing. And originally in the play, like how they did this was like where Patricia Quinn will like come out and be like an usherette, like where she'll be singing a song. Then you get like the wedding. And science fiction double feature is like my brother's favorite Rocky Horror song. Well, he says Swords of Damocles is, but this is like really his favorite, I believe. Hi, brother. So, so you get like a really interesting crawl. You get all these. And an interesting note, the Flash Gordon is mentioned. Richard O'Brien will later go on to appear in Flash Gordon, but that's for another day. But we cut to the wedding, like where we see some Betty Monroe marrying Ralph. I really forget his last name, so correct me in the comments. You guys will know it better, because now I'm just slipping. But if you like look at this scene, like there's a song, and this one is called "Damn It, Janet." It is a really good song. It's so catchy, like you'll find yourself singing it. And I remember I used to get in trouble for like saying it because my mom was watching Rocky Horror with me, and I was saying that. She's like, "Excuse me," and I'm like, "Sorry," because she didn't like it when I said that. My brother and I enjoy this film. Brad proposes to Janet, and they become engaged. And then you get the basically the narrator or criminologist, like all these people, and he's like basically telling the story. So I'm gonna call him the narrator. So he's telling us the story of like what happened to Brad, Janet, and a Dr. Everett Scott. But the interesting thing is, if you look, it says police report in the film. And then we get like, and this film has like a lot of cool like transitions, like swipes, dissolves, like scenes melting even. It's really interesting and I like it. Then we see Brad and Janet like driving around on their way to Dr. Everett Scott to announce the news. And if you listen closely, you can hear like Richard Nixon's speech. Okay then. I got nothing really on that one. And they get a blowout. And Brad's like, "Did we just pass a castle? Maybe they have a phone I can use." And so he and Janet walk through, and they have another song. And probably my second favorite is over at the Frankenstein place. I always like how this song felt. It was like, because it was just like the rhythm in it, the lyrics, and Richard O'Brien's performance of, he plays Riff Raff, how he can hit those high notes is amazing. I love that. But you see like this, you see a sign that says "Enter at your own risk," and you're like, uh-oh, this is not going to be good, is it? So then you move on to like where you get like some shots of the castle, and it's like pretty eerie, and it looks scary. And then, as the song ends, we cut back to the narrator, and he's telling us, "So it looks like they're very safe," or were they? Pretty much. And then we get to like where Brad and Janet are right outside the door, and then we meet Riff Raff, like I said, played by Richard O'Brien. And as they enter, they notice how weird it is. They hear a party going on, and then we meet Patricia Quinn, who is just like this. Like, I don't even know what to describe her as, because, like, she is just funny, she's awesome, and she's just really cool. And then we get to the song The Time Warp, which a lot of people know, and it's a song that is, and it's like a dance that everyone knows by heart. The lyrics are so much fun, too. Like, it's so, like I said, it's so much fun because, like, how it feels. And, like, the chorus, like, all these things, like, it just fits. And then you even get instructions on how to do the dance. And I really like that. And I believe even Richard O'Brien said they actually added that into the play to exceed the runtime, because the play was just like 40 minutes. Like that's pretty short. And then as Brad and Janet are leaving, we meet Dr. Frankenfurter singing "Sweet Transvestite," which is a really, really great song. But it is sung marvelously by Tim Curry. I know I'm using marvelously a lot here, but Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter. First of all, if you haven't seen this film, I recommend checking it out. And look at this. Like Tim Curry, knows this role. I mean, yeah, he played on Broadway, but even from what I heard, he was even a success with this. And we get Sweet Transvestite, and during Time War, we met Columbia, who is a groupie, and then during Sweet Transvestite, you get this little calm response. Why don't you stay for the night, or maybe a bite? It's like that, and I really like that. And then we hear what Frank's intention is. He's been making a man with blonde hair and a tan, and I really like that because it's just interesting because how Rocky Horror feels. And then you get where they go up to the lab. Brad and Jan are stripped. They're stripped down to their undergarments and they're brought up by elevator. And then we meet Frankenfurter, and he's surrounded by all the party guests. And there's this giant red sheet covering something. You have no idea what it is. So Frank comes off as a very suave, very classy person, but a little suspicious at that too. And then when the sheet is pulled back, Frankfurter even mentions before this that he found it a secret to life itself. And then they pull back the red sheet. Well, before this, I really gotta say this. He said his project was going to be born. Frankenfurter has built an actual man. And you get to see it's a traditional thing in sci-fi films or even horror films when they're doing something like this, where he has the lights come down and it has all the liquids and he starts messing around with it. And according to I believe from Rocky Horror, what they said when they were doing that, there was a certain pattern that he had to memorize. And if you look closely at times, you can see that he's a little bit confused. And then you get a really cool skeleton shot in there. And then Rocky is born. He has blonde hair, he is tan, and then he is singing a song about the swords of Damocles. And pretty cool song, and it's really enjoyable, it's really catchy. And he's running around Frank's lab. And he's and and when he's getting cut out of his bandages, you'll notice that he's wearing a yellow bikini, matching shoes basically. And Frank chases him, and he gives him a birthday present, and it's weights. And if you'll notice, when he slipped up the weights, when Frank's bringing his finger down, you'll see Rocky has no belly button. That's because Frank just basically made him. And someone pointed this out to me. And this is real, and this could actually affect it. But I always found this a little bit strange even too. But but a friend of mine, he made this reference. Rocky Horror, he has fillings in his teeth. And that's supposed to be Frank's perfect man. And someone actually made an argument saying, what if he actually found a perfect skull and it was missing teeth and he put fillings in? That's up to you guys, not me. So then we move on. As we continue on with the song, we see Rocky lifting weights, we see him getting oiled, we see him doing all sorts of things. And then we're introduced to Meatloaf, or as in his character, Eddie. And this is actually my favorite song. It's called Hopatuni, Bless My Soul. I really love this song. This was always a song because it's a standard like rock and roll song, and how it is sung, and how Meatloaf performs it. Like, Meatloaf is a great artist in himself, but this is like where you notice like there's like a scar on his head. I'll get to that. I'll get back to that. And it basically makes it feel like there's something else going on. This film does a great job at that. Like, it keeps like the mysterious factor going. Now, I know I'm basically giving you guys a synopsis, but I actually thought this would actually be the best way. So, during Opportunity Bless My Soul, it basically turns into a giant party. And Frank, like, basically like out of jealousy and anger, kills Eddie, who was basically, and we reveal that he gave part of his brain, of Eddie's brain, to Rocky. And Frank and Rocky go off to like this wedding, like a chapel, and disappear. Now, I want to, like, this is like where I hear like a lot of people have problems with the movie, because then you meet like where Brad and Jan are in separate rooms. They're visited by Frank. Rocky's tortured, and then like Janet goes looking around, like trying to find Brad, and then we get like a weird song of "Touch Me." It's I like the song, but I always find it like weird, and it's basically like lust, because like that's something like Janet like has probably never experienced before in her life, like true lust. And then we move on to like where Frank's like, where's Rocky? Because Rocky just went missing before Touch Me, but we know where he is, but they don't. Now, I know I'm going to do this like out of order, but it's basically off the fly. It's basically like right off the head. Or quick to draw, whatever you want to call it. So, we get like, we get introduced to Dr. Scott, who is wheelchair bound, and he's actually looking for Eddie, because he hasn't seen his nephew in forever. And the thing is here, like, when we get to like the notorious Janet, Dr. Scott, Janet, Brad, Rocky, I can go on and on for that. They actually made like a 10-hour loop on that on YouTube one time, and I was never able to find the video again, and it was pretty funny. And now they're serving dinner. Now think of this. If you want to be technical, Rocky Horror takes place all in one day, technically. Except for the narration scenes, like that's later. But we get introduced to Eddie's Tale, like where everyone's like eating, everyone's talking. And if you look closely, when Barry Boswick, Brad, when he slams down on the table, he hits Janice or Sarandon's hand for real. And it's really interesting, like how like the film sets itself up. It's great. It feels amazing, and I do enjoy it. But I'm not done yet. Like Eddie's Teddy comes up, and you get like a little bit of a backstory on Eddie. And this is like where even Meatloaf had problems, like with the film, because he said when they were doing Rocky Horror, the person that played Eddie also played Dr. Scott. So they could kind of have like a relation like there. And yeah, it's just one sec, guys. Alright, I'm back. Someone's knocking on my door. But anyway, all more like with like the show, like where you literally get like where they become frozen. And yeah, it's campy, can be corny, but it is enjoyable. Then they feel like Patricia Quinn, but Magenta. Sorry, guys. I had like a complete brain fart there. But anyway, she is like angry at Frank because she's like, when can we really return to Transylvania? Because they've been discovered. They know who they are. But Frank thinks that it would be best if they just stay on Earth. And he has a floor show. And it's what all the people is frozen. So you got Columbia. You got Rocky. Brad, Janet, even Dr. Scott. I know I didn't mention what came here before here, but he basically turned them into statues. But the floor show is really interesting, and this is like a really like big build up, and it's a great build up. So the film works like here because it's based like all the world is a stage basically, and you get like the floor show like Rose Tint My World, like where they basically are like showing off everything, talking, and it's pretty good actually. The whole show. Frankenfurter, Don't Dream It Be. It's really, really fun. And it can be pretty funny at times. But then, like, we get, like, where Richard O'Brien, or Patricia Quinn, or Riff Raff, or Magenta, they're coming in, and they're just furious. And they're, like, announcing, like, how they are returning to Transylvania, and how he's the new commander. And we get a very emotional song from Tim Curry. And this is probably my favorite Frankenfurter song. It's called I'm Going Home. Because I really like this song because there's a lot of heart into it. And it's so great because, like, it sounds genuine. Even though it could have been fake. But I do enjoy it. But when you get to where Riff Raff's like, where he wants to kill Frank. And, like, this film, like, this is, like, where it gets really interesting. And it has, like, a very, like, emotional part here. Because if you've grown to like Frankenfurter, like, you watch this, like, in the dark, it feels rather weird. I'm not gonna lie, watching this film in the dark. Because, like, if you watch, like, in the dark during here, it's, like, a very, like, awkward setting. Because you see, like, Rocky, he's basically taking his father, he's trying to protect him. But they both die because of it. And then our three heroes are given a chance to escape. And they escape, but their lives are changed forever. And Superheroes basically does it really well. I highly recommend that you check out that because it's really useful and it will really help, like, balance out the story. But then you get the very last thing the narrator says, and crawling on the planet's face sounds we call it the human race, lost in time, lost in space, and meeting. And it's a very deep and detailed line. And it ends on a shot of the globe. Then as the film rolls, we get science fiction double feature reprise. And it's basically like telling us what just happened. So there's my synopsis. Guys, I really do enjoy this film. I love this film. It's amazing. I love it. Tim Curry is by far my favorite. My favorite song is Hot Patoonie. I want to give a special thanks to my friend Anna for this. This is for her birthday. And I love you, Anna. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're going to be forever my sister from band. And you're going to be my sister later in life. So thank you very much for requesting this. And guys, I really like Rocky Horror. I may have spoiled it a little bit too much. But overall, I do enjoy it. This film is still being shown today, is enjoyed by many. And I recommend that you guys check this film out. You guys will really like it. Well, that's it on me. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Happy birthday, Anna. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you guys wish to see more reviews like this, or any of my Let's Plays, by all means, subscribe. If you guys want to share this with your friends or family, by all means, go ahead. If you guys want to ask, say, or request something, comment down below. Anna actually, I actually came up with the idea because I was like, you know what, I want to do this for her birthday. And I asked her if it was okay, because that was going to be my birthday present for her. So anyway, happy birthday, Anna. Hope you have an amazing day. As to you guys, I hope as well. My name's Isaiah Hill. Thank you guys for watching, and I am signing off.